What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I want to show you the best Mod Mage build currently active in Remnant 2. Each DLC added and each patch introduced changes up builds bit by bit. This can make it tough to stay on top of the high tier builds, especially for someone who's new to the game. Here's how you can create a build that easily clears Apocalypse, defeats bosses very quickly, and honestly makes the game much easier to play. Step 1 is going to be using Archon as your prime class. This offers many buffs to mods, the most important being 50% more mod damage, 10% mod crit chance, and increased mod regeneration. Any of the three skills is fine, but I always run Reality Rune for the extra defense. Next, you want Ritualist as your subclass, as this will boost the damage of our statuses, which we can use them to further increase mod regen with our trinkets. You also gain 10% crit chance to enemies affected by a status. You can use Miasma as a skill for good damage over time, and it's a very fun skill in general. For armor, it really is just up to you. I ran this with the full bruiser, but go ahead and throw on anything that you're comfortable with that doesn't make you flop dodge. As for the relic, this is the same case. I personally ran with the Tormented Heart, as it's a very cool item, and it is increased by the trait Amplitude, which we're going to run. It has extremely nice lifesteal as well, which is reliable in boss fights. For the fragments, you want elemental damage, and mod cost. As your primary gun, you can run any weapon that has an open mod slot, as you won't really be using the gun hardly at all. Firestorm as the mod is the best, as it deals insane amounts of elemental damage, which will take down enemy health quickly and regen our mods instantly. Harmonizer as the mutator further regens your other gun's mods faster and grants Firestorm 20% more damage. You then want the Krell Axe for your melee, as this is an easy source of elemental damage, and the mutator Stormbringer bolsters all your statuses. The secondary weapon you want is Corrupted Meridian. The mod on it, Dead Point, is the most reliable for mod crit, as it explodes many times. You'll be firing this as much as possible, and it's probably the highest damage explosive that we have access to at the moment. Starshot is also amazing here, especially if you don't have Corrupted Meridian. Run Feedback and you can spam both very nicely. Now, the Detonation Trigger is going to offer you great damage from both your explosions and burning, which means every explosive shot deals elemental damage to activate your crit bonus from Ritualist and regen your mods. The Stone of Malevolence regens mods instantly because of our very high fire damage on Firestorm. Burden of the Gambler ups all crit chance, which applies to mods and increases that damage by 20%. The Probability Cord is going to further boost your crit by 30%. Then you want Burden of Destroyer for 15% more damage. Ahane Crystal is also an amazing replacement for Burden of Destroyer in boss fights, as you're going to easily get all the statuses applied with Miasma. However, it is a hardcore reward and is inconsistent in dungeons, so be aware of that. Now for the traits, you want the basics, but the must-haves are Flashcaster, Affliction, Kinship, Amplitude, and Siphoner. This is going to let you use your infinite mods quickly, as they cannot hurt you and blast in a massive radius. Siphoner is also a personal favorite of mine on explosion builds for a little bit of health regen. Lastly, you want the concoction Bottled Shadeberry to increase mod regen even faster. This all culminates in you having over 50% crit chance and ridiculous damage. You have Firestorm, which can freeze groups and even bosses in place. Then you could shoot out the cluster grenades that chunk down health. This build setup is highly consistent, extremely powerful, and does not make use of any known bugs. So it should be very reliable for the time being. Here's a quick test on the One True King to show you how it works, and I hope you enjoy. I don't know if I can break him in one phase though. Dang it, I broke his hammer too. I had him. Yeah, firestorm is well, as you can see, firestorm is very very good at regenning your mod with stone and malevolence, and so it lets you just spam whatever thing you want, really.